JuliAnne Murphy here with LaProvidaCostaRica.com, which is an expat living blog about expat living in Costa Rica and courtesy of South Pacific Costa Rica Real Estate. Today is day 18 in a mini video series of mine called 30 Days of Expat Living in Costa Rica. This video series is designed for people who are considering moving to Costa Rica or who are brand new to Costa Rica or perhaps looking to retire in Costa Rica. If you're seeing these and you're an existing expat in Costa Rica or you've been here for a while, a lot of this content is not going to be relevant to you, just so you know, though you're more than welcome to watch them. And comment if it's constructive, please. Let me talk today, this is day 18, let's talk a little bit about food costs and your food options for grocery stores and things like that. I've already done a couple of visits in this video series, one yesterday to our big local supermarket here in South Pacific Costa Rica. And also did a trip on this past Saturday, and you can find that it's day 10, 11, 12, I'm not sure which one it was, entitled about going to the local feria or the farmer's market. So first let's talk about food sources. When you move here, depending on where you are, you'll have access to your supermarket system, whatever that may be. Here in South Pacific Costa Rica where I am, along the Costa Ballena coast, that's called BMA in Spanish. In other more populated areas like Quepos, Manuel Antonio, San Jose, Guanacaste, etc., where there's a higher population, there's not a high population where I am, it's pretty rustic. You're going to have other stores like Maxi Pali, Super Maxi, I can't remember the other one, but and a couple of those are actually owned by Walmart. If you're in San Jose, you're going to have access to discount stores like Walmart, and PriceSmart is actually owned by, which line is it? It's like a Sam's Club. In San Jose, there is a PriceSmart, and there may be one elsewhere in the country, but I'm not familiar with it if it is. But if you're in a more remote area, you're probably going to have one line of grocery store, like for us it's BM, and you might have in some of the smaller towns local supermarkets, which just basically get some of the same food items or household items from other distributors, but don't have a big brand name in terms of their shop. Secondly, you're going to be able to get fresh fruits and vegetables and maybe locally canned things and fresh bread, fresh pies, fresh pastries, fresh cuts of meat, depending on where you are. You can get all those at the local feria. Now, feria is a farmer's market, and I explained more on this when we took that trip there on a previous video this past Saturday. And so you might want to take a look at that in terms of what you can find there, what it's like, what it looks like, etc. Those are going to vary in size and sophistication depending on where you are in the country. They're not all the same. Obviously, they're local. So some of them in a tiny town, you're going to have 4 stalls, 4 different options of things to buy there, and some you're going to have 30. It depends. Let me back up. Many expats, when they move to Costa Rica with time, find that shopping at the farmer's market or the feria is much more I'm not saying that correctly. It's cheaper to get a lot of your day-to-day needs, and especially if you eat fresh fish, fresh meat, fresh vegetables, fresh fruit. The bulk of where you can save on your household grocery bill is going to be when you shop at the farmer's market or shop locally. Now, that does not mean that eating in Costa Rica, grocery-wise, whether you shop at the feria or you shop at a big supermarket or you go in once a month or every day to Walmart to get some things or to PriceSmart, is going to be cheap. It's not cheap. It is not cheap to eat in Costa Rica. Can you determine that some more local or Central American brands are going to be cheaper for pre-packaged foods and so forth here? Absolutely. If you're going to stick with the U.S. brands, which a lot of people do at first, and then they go, ouch, how much was that? Wow, I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm going to figure out an alternative. But it's very common when you move here as a new expat to go towards the brands you know and have loved in the past until you figure out how much they cost. Now, there are still some things I won't give up on. For example, Welch's grape juice, that's all I drink. I will not drink any other brand because I don't like them. So there's a lot of that determination when you move here. You try things, you figure out what's expensive, you figure out what's less expensive, you figure out what you can change to another type of brand. That takes some time. And a lot of times when you're moving, especially if you're not a Spanish speaker and you've never been an expat living abroad before, you're going to find that the first few months and even year, or maybe 2 for some people, of moving to a new country, even as friendly as Costa Rica is, is so overwhelming with new language, new home, new town, new friends, new social network, maybe new work opportunity depending on your situation, that you're not going to want to change brands. That sometimes that's a comfort that some people don't want to give up. But generally, your food options are, you've got the supermarket, you've got the feria or farmer's market, and then sometimes you get some stuff at a roadside stand or a Price Mart, Walmart in San Jose, in a more populated area, or a Maxi Pally, which would be in some other areas that are more populated than where I am along the South Pacific coast. So that's some information for you. I hope that's helpful in addition to the tours you've already done on those other 2 days, trip to the ferry or farmer's market and trip to the big grocery store yesterday. This is day 18 of 30 days of my mini series called 30 Days of Expat Living in Costa Rica. Hope you're enjoying it. And again, constructive comments only, please. If you've got something negative, we don't need to hear it. Move on. Thanks.